Hello, you are watching Interview of the Day and I am Adhere Rakhimzhanova. 2021 is an anniversary year for Kazakhstan. This year, the country celebrates the 30th anniversary of its independence. During this period, the country went through a long and successful path of economic development, where the Development Bank of Kazakhstan played an important role. Today, we will talk about this with the bank's managing director, Rakhimzhan Satayev. Hello. Good afternoon. The Development Bank of Kazakhstan is a key financial institution in the country. Its strategy reflects the current goals and objectives set by the state. What strategies does the bank adhere to today, and which sectors does the state favor? The main tasks that were set before the bank and the government are the provision of long-term lending to large investment projects that cannot be fully financed by business, assistance in attracting internal and external investment in the economy, evaluation and structuring of large projects with an extensive socio-economic effect in priority sectors of the economy, as well as reducing the negative effect of financial crisis by providing credit resources for economic recovery.
Путем предоставления кредитных ресурсов для восстановления экономики.
Today, the Development Bank is also a key operator of a number of government programs, in particular the State Program of Industrial and Innovative Development, as well as the Nurluzhol State Infrastructure Development Program.
Инфраструктурного развития Nurluzhol.
In turn, the successful implementation of these programs contributes to the effective implementation of the country's national plan until 2025, which in particular sets out such goals as increasing the production of the manufacturing industry 1.5 times and increasing the volume of non-resource exports 2 times. This year, the 30th anniversary of Kazakhstan's independence coincides with the anniversary of the Development Bank of Kazakhstan. How would you assess the contribution of the financial institution to the development of Kazakhstan's national economy? The Development Bank demonstrates progressive growth in lending to large projects of the manufacturing industry and infrastructure. Thus, over the past 5 years, the average annual volume of expenditure of the Development Bank amounted to approximately 450 billion tenge, and by the end of 2020, the bank's loan portfolio reached 2 trillion tenge, which is around 2.8% of the country's GDP. In general, from the moment of creation to the end of 2020, 148 investment projects and 105 export operations were implemented with the financial support of the Development Bank for a total amount of about 10 trillion tenge, with the participation of the bank in the amount of 3.6 trillion tenge. With the assistance of the Development Bank, new production facilities were launched as part of 121 investment projects with a total cost of 7.2 trillion tenge, which created about 30,000 new permanent jobs. Large production facilities have been launched or modernized in almost all regions of the country. These are modern high-tech industries, which today make a significant contribution to the industrialization of Kazakhstan. Speaking of the manufacturing industry, over the past 10 years, about 76% of loans provided by the bank have been directed to the manufacturing industry. This is metallurgy, chemical industry, food industry, oil refining, production of building materials, and so on.
Металлургия, химическая промышленность, пищевая промышленность, нефтепереработка, производство строительных материалов и так далее. В сфере инфраструктуры.
In the field of infrastructure, the successful gasification of settlements in Mangistau, Jambul, Turkestan, and Aktobe regions should be noted. The Sararka gas pipeline was built, the internet is being provided to rural settlements, large projects in the tourism industry are being implemented.
Проводится интернет в сельские населенные пункты, реализуются крупные проекты в туристической отрасли.
Speaking about the Development Bank in foreign markets, here I would probably note the successful placement of the bank's Eurobonds denominated in tenge, starting from the end of 2017. We successfully made the last placement in May of this year. 100 billion tenge was attracted. There was a great demand for our bonds. All this suggests that the foreign investors are more interested and trust Kazakhstan as well as its development institutions.
Скажем так, повышенный интерес, оказывают доверие Казахстану и его институтам развития.
Over these 20 years, the bank provided lending in renewable energy sources, tourism, infrastructure, industry. If we talk about the future, how do you see the bank's future in the next 5-10 years?
Согласно обновленной стратегии развития,
According to the updated development strategy, the vision of the bank is to become an effective financial institution, which in partnership with business successfully increases the share of competitive products with high added value, expands the range of exported goods, and also creates the necessary infrastructure for the country's further stable growth.
также создает необходимую инфраструктуру для дальнейшего стабильного роста страны. В обновленной стратегии
In the renewed development strategy, a key emphasis is placed on increasing the participation of the private sector in diversification, economic modernization by increasing market component in the bank's relationship with business.
во взаимоотношения банка с бизнесом. Немаловажным является то, что
It is also important that we will continue to act as the main operator in the implementation of government programs for industrial and innovative development, as well as infrastructure development programs. It should be noted particularly that when reviewing new investment projects, we will give more priority to projects for the production of average and upper limit range goods. So, by 2023, we want to increase the share of such industries in the structure of our loan portfolio to 35% and by 2030 to 60%.
к 2030 году до 60%. Немаловажно.
An important emphasis is placed on increasing the volume of infrastructure, as well as on further diversifying of the development bank's aggregate export basket.
Банка развития. В проект обновленной
The draft updated development strategy includes a new strategic goal to implement and comply with the principles of sustainable development, the so-called ESG principles. The Development Bank intends to actively participate in the President's order to increase the share of renewable energy sources in the country's electricity generation to 15% by 2030.
в электрогенерации страны до 15% к 2030 году.
In general, we believe that the Development Bank will continue to play a significant role in the issue of diversification and modernization of the country's national economy.
Если отдельно остановиться на инвестиционных проектах, то
If we focus on investment projects, which of them can be the most interesting, important, and large scale?
важными и масштабными.
Здесь стоит отметить
There are projects in the development of tourism industry in Kazakhstan. In particular, large projects have been implemented for the construction of a 5-star hotel of an international brand in the Mangostar region, as well as the construction of a tourist complex in the Turkestan region.
в Туркестанской области.
Как за
How did the Development Bank's approach to financing projects that are key for Kazakhstan's economy change over these 20 years? Which projects were boosted and which projects were cut over these 20 years?
меньше за эти 20 лет?
С момента своего создания подход
Since the formation of the Development Bank's approach to the consideration of investment projects has been classic, initially clear criteria for the consideration of investment projects were defined, under which the Development Bank began to analyze in detail and study an investment project.
которым Банк развития начинал детально анализировать, изучать инвестиционный проект. Вместе с тем,
At the same time, if a project was profitable, promising, it would be more correct to say but poorly structured on the part of the borrower, then as a rule it was not reviewed in the future. However, with the accumulation of experience as it grew, the Development Bank accumulated a lot of expertise, mastered great competencies in considering new investment projects, and today, if the project is profitable and has a great socio-economic effect, the accumulated expertise and competencies allow the potential borrower to formulate clear additional questions so that he can competently structure the transaction. It is also possible that any suspensive conditions are provided by the Development Bank for such investment projects that hadn't been previously applied.
заемщику так, чтобы он мог грамотно отструктурировать сделку. Не исключается также и предоставление каких-либо отлагательных условий со стороны Банка развития по таким инвестиционным проектам, чего не было ранее.
We try to constantly keep track of macroeconomic parameter studies, correctly monitor the impact of these changes on the activities of the bank and its borrowers. In particular, amidst ongoing devaluations, the DBK revised the minimum funding threshold in order to increase the efficiency of institutional support to entrepreneurs. Previously, it was $30 million, but we revised it by 7 billion tenge.
Мы его пересмотрели на 7 миллиардов тенге.
The DBK is constantly working to improve internal business processes, in particular the consideration of loan applications. So, since 2019, a great deal of work has been done to revise and optimize almost all business processes. Specifically, a new BPM system has been introduced, which has allowed us to automate all three key stages of loan processing. These are stages such as business proposals, indicative analysis, and bank expert examination.
Такие этапы, как бизнес-предложение, индикативный анализ и банковская экспертиза. Если сравнивать с 2000...
Compared to 2018, the decision-making speed increased by 81% at the stage of a business proposal, by 44% at the stage of indicative analysis, and by 61% at the bank expert examination stage. It is worth noting that now the bank's clients can communicate with us through their personal account.
Отметить, что теперь клиенты банка могут взаимодействовать с нами через личный кабинет.
A corresponding CRM system has been introduced, which allows our potential clients to submit their applications remotely and track the processing of these applications distantly in their personal account. This therefore simplifies the mechanism and increases the speed with which the DBK provides credit funds.
В личном кабинете. Это, естественно, упрощает механизм и увеличивает оперативность предоставления кредитных средств со стороны Банка развития.
Обращаясь к вам как специалист,
As an expert in the field of strategy and big data analysis, please tell us which directions and sectors the state should place the highest priority on in order Kazakhstan's economy develop and grow more rapidly.
чтобы экономика Казахстана росла и развивалась более ускоренно.
Учитывая, что наличие
Given that the presence of upper and middle processing industries in the country's production structure increases its stability to commodity price fluctuations, Kazakhstan should exactly focus on increasing the share of such projects.
следует сосредоточиться именно на увеличении доли таких проектов. Также
I would also like to note that the Kazakh economy needs to further export diversification. In particular, this year our team implemented a machine learning algorithm to identify 50 promising products that could contribute to further diversification of the economy.
могут поспособствовать дальнейшей диверсификации экономики.
Among the identified products, there are many that belong to the manufacturing industry, mechanical engineering, the food industry, and the petrochemical industry. In the future, we plan to carry out a more in-depth analysis of the identified products at the regional level, that's to consider how realistic is the possibility of producing this or that product at a good level in a particular region. The bank will continue its further work.
В отдельном регионе. Банк продолжит дальнейшую работу.
Если результаты уже
Has this development brought any results yet? And why is it unique?
в чем ее уникальность?
С результатами
The results of the implementation of the learning machine algorithm for identifying 50 promising products can be found on the bank's website. It is unique because this is the first machine learning algorithm that was implemented in Kazakhstan.
в Казахстане
We hope that not only the bank but also entrepreneurs will benefit from this development. We will continue to work in this direction.
будем дальше работать в этом направлении.
And to conclude this interview, do you want to wish something to our viewers? I congratulate all the viewers on the 30th anniversary of Kazakhstan's independence. First of all, I would like to wish everyone health, well-being and prosperity. Thank you very much for such a pleasant and meaningful conversation. Thank you. You are watching Interview of the Day. See you soon on Kazakh TV.
На канале Казах ТВ.